Hello and welcome to Endcast, preseason week
I
two.
gave you the giggles.
Preseason week two Endcast. I'm your host, Orange, and with me yet again are Burn and Gummel, and we're just having a grand old time.
Oh, who?
A hoot and a holler and a candy cane. So how we doing, folks?
Sad.
Sad.
Peppermint-tastic.
Same. Cool. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, we got wrecked. Both of us. Although mine was closer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you at least got to the second lineup.
Yeah. Although it would have helped if Suigetsu's grab had actually been the same.
Yeah. But getting right into things, we have our first match, which was Kurenai at Guy. So what did
Guy
you guys...
lost.
Yes, they did. What did you guys think of this one?
I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a definitely Kurenai's most aggressive lineup. It seemed real neat. Seemed to work out really well. They didn't have Shino in, which was cool that they were able to pull it out without Shino.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I agree.
Guy didn't even have Shippuden Tintin in either, so they also had
Yeah.
their ranged character out. And Kurenai pretty much, I'd say they out meleeed Guy in that sense. They took out Guy at their own game, in that sense. Just pretty,
Yeah, I would agree.
pretty strong. A pretty strong showing from a team that you kind of associate with Shino in some longer kind of matches that can sometimes last a while. So it shows that they can do well even without that. And again against Guy nonetheless. Not that Guy was slouching, but it was quite impressive because I think in the predictions I kind of gave it to Guy just because that's kind of what they are specialized. Impressive that they actually got the win.
Yeah, I don't know if I was necessarily... Because I believe I did predict Kurenai last week, but I still was really surprised with just how much aggression Kurenai was able to throw out at Guy. And I will say it was a very fun match to watch. Just a good way to start off the week, honestly.
Yeah, so far week ones have been really entertaining so far. The past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Both first matches, yeah. But yeah, no, this was definitely, even though it was the first one, when you're thinking about weeks back, I guess for me at least, the first match doesn't really stick in your mind immediately, at least unless it's like your match. But like, this was a really one of our standout matches this week, I think. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it, barring the whole, Kiba situation.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, that was...
Which kind of was the deal for that week. We were pretty flawless in preseason week 1. Week 2 had to be a little different, but they were resolved.
Yeah.
And most of it was because of, like I said, instances where, there was issues with, Kiba in the sense of Akamaru.
Yeah, and I mean, even so, our stream didn't hit 3 hours. So...
No, yeah, still a plus, regardless.
That's good stuff.
That's pretty huge considering last season.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, overall thoughts on this match, I think it was good. A fun one to go back and watch. I'm sure both teams got a lot of good data from it. And I hope that Guy can eke out more wins as well as Kurenai. And yeah. So let's move on to our next one, which was Asuma at Cloud.
Yeah.
And this was a kind of a surprising... I mean, not necessarily surprising because we all know Cloud is a strong team, but Asuma got, like, trashed by Cloud pretty much.
Specifically their second lineup, which is actually the one that we were looking at last week and saying how if there was anything going to be a strong lineup, it would be that lineup there. And they not only took out the first lineup that Green barred their first lineup, they also took out that lineup with 2 handicaps against them and took out the double defense Choji team. And did such crazy damage with Raikage and his full combo damage.
Oh my god, yeah. Which we finally actually got to see the full damage of it, and that was something else. And like I said, Essence of Finishing, people were kind of sleeping on it, but I think that on the right character, it can be one of the more devastating scrolls. And it's only 1 point, but for characters that can use it, they can use it really, really effectively. And really the only way to counter it is just with more aggression against those types of characters, and not let them finish their combos. That's basically it. Which, you know, in concept doesn't sound like that hard of a thing to do, but when you're out of subs and the opponent is constantly pressing you like Cloud was to Asuma, then it becomes a little bit harder in practice, you know? And I just think that Asuma was not expecting to take as much damage as they did from Hidden Cloud, and I think it was a really nice match for Cloud, especially because we all had some doubts about Cloud's first lineup, and it didn't do amazingly well. But we were.
Sakon Ukon is, just like last season, very. I don't know. He's kind of lacking. I think he hasn't done anything really that's impressed me really. And he's been in, but they've usually only started with him, and you see him once, doesn't do well, and then you never see him again. But they're still trying to test him. But I feel.
I think he needs a larger commitment to be able to make him good, and I think he can be, because I think he has some of the best melee in this game.
Yeah, I believe it.
Well, and I think they've only tested him in 2-man teams. It might be worth testing in a 3-man team. I mean, he might do a lot better in that environment, possibly.
Could be, yeah.
Hard to say.
But yeah, I mean, none of us really doubted that second lineup of theirs, and it was if you've seen the match, you obviously know how that went. So, yeah, Cloud definitely showing in the preseason that we might be seeing the return of the old Hidden Cloud, which is, that's impressive, and they're looking to be a force to be reckoned with. So, yeah, could be up there this season. Any more thoughts on this match, guys?
No!
Okay! Our next one is going to be Uchiha at Sand, and I do actually have some thoughts on this match. So, actually, hey guys, yeah, we might actually have somebody else hopping in here in a moment. So, that's a thing.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
He's doing builds.
So, we have Uchiha at Sand, and Sand won, and this was, I don't know if it was surprising to me necessarily that Sand won. It was just how Sand won that surprised me. They just completely, they swept Uchiha with their first lineup, which, is worse than what happened to Asuma, to be completely honest. I mean, Asuma at least went to a round 3, and and Uchiha at Sand, that was really rough for Uchiha. Now, we did get to see an ult from PTS Sasuke though, and that was some good damage. But go ahead, Gomo.
And this wasn't like Uchiha's B team. This is a lot of their strong characters. You had, Shishui and Itachi, PTS Sasuke, Madara. Pretty much very strong characters in general. So, whereas last week it could have been said that, they had soccer and they had a couple different things going on. It was a little, wasn't maybe one of their stronger setups because both Shishui and Itachi were benched. But this week they had them in. And I thought it'd be a lot closer, honestly. I didn't expect the Sand to do what they did. It was impressive. Again, both teams are testing, but still, I've been, even in tests, I'm fairly certain both Itachi and Shishui have been fairly consistent in their testing. So,
yeah, and I think something I was noticing with this match was I think that PTS Sasuke is good, but to me, I think he was staying out a little bit too much, and with with the kind of
it's the
same problem that same problem that they had with Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He was out, and Raikage just tore him to pieces. In this instance, too, he did stay out a lot, too. So that is something to keep in mind as well, especially with that child negative that he has.
Yeah, could be something similar to what we suggested for Sakon Ukon, is like maybe 3-man teams.
Yeah.
Could be a thing.
Or even, like, maybe not necessarily give up on the ult path, but, like, still give him ultimate chakra saver, but give him defense +2 and flak jacket.
Could be, yeah.
That'll make him at least tankier because he wants to stay out.
They can't give him both of those things at the same time, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess defense +1 and flak jacket at the same time then.
Yeah.
Or just defense +2.
Negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for him to do ultimate damage, you'll have that attack -1, but you don't really care about that damage you get with his ultimate, and it's not going to be nerfed because it's basically a melee ultimate.
Yeah, it's a melee ultimate, so it's not nerfed. So it at least will do more damage than a projectile.
It has armor, doesn't it, too? I think
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar to Happy Sasuke's Chidori True Spear. So, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Uchiha that they lost in the way that they did. At the same time, though, Sand is looking very powerful, and I'm happy for them. Even if they didn't, which, you know, like I said in the actual stream, this does make it more tricky for Sand because they still actually haven't seen either PTS Tamari or PTS Konkuro at all in this preseason. And so they're lacking data pretty hard.
Yeah, you're right, because she actually was in last week's lineup, but they never saw her because of that. Yeah, so in preseason, you're all about getting data. So sometimes teams that do well, like, for example, I'll bring up an example of Stone. Stone, basically, I think they won almost all their matches in the preseason. They didn't get any data really on their second lineups, and mainly just, Kidomaru and a couple other characters. Going into the regular season, it started to show because they didn't exactly have a good place for some of their members because they didn't have the data to look back on.
Yeah, and I think that is actually a very important aspect of preseason. So I hope that they get some more data soon, but at the same time, they look plenty scary as is right now.
Based on what we've seen already, I mean, and this is without, of course, Tamari being a threat in here. This is like, this is...
Yeah.
Other characters have been showing very strong. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty scary. Even though they lost week 1, they did extremely well here. So I think that this is a great sign for them. I just hope that Uchiha can pull back because they're typically one of the stronger teams, and they've been struggling so far in preseason. So, yeah. Any additional thoughts, or we gonna move on?
Move it on.
All right, and special guest Chan, you can go ahead and hop in on this one whenever you're ready.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, oh, hi Mark. So this is
Hey, Gur, how's it going?
I'm good, you?
Good.
He's working on some stuff.
Fuck your
now.
team. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Next we have
tie him back up.
Akatsuki at Sage. And this was quite the match because there was very little wild rides, and I know I brought up wild ride a lot in that, but I'm sad.
I was so let down.
I know, because we had to redo that one round.
Yeah, we had to redo the one round where there were wild rides being, passed out,
and the redo didn't have them wild rides.
Yep.
And I'm especially sad because it looks like they're not going with like that type of build for Nagato next week, and we'll get to that. But
good.
Like, I really want Nagato's
it has the
wild
potential
ride.
to be real abusive.
I know.
You can't stop it, no matter what you do. When you don't want him to do it, he will do it.
Yeah, essentially, when we fight a cop,
expect him to.
Week
we just
one,
act like he doesn't.
Week 1 for us, we're gonna get Nagato's wild ride all over the place. So that'll be fun. But yeah, no, this match was. So first of all, I do want to still say, even though we didn't get a Nagato wild ride, Akatsuki still won. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Sage so far has lost both of their preseason matches, just like Uchiha. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to say I'm surprised Akatsuki still won with default AI, because it's not like they were weak last season. But I mean, it worked, so now I don't know if it's a reliable thing to put everyone on default, but definitely I would say keep Nagato on default, keep maybe Kona on default too, because she was solid. And she was doing a lot of ults too, which is really helpful. She hit a couple of them, I think, so that's good. Yeah, and as for Sage, it didn't really seem like a lot of the things they were trying were really working that well, unfortunately. I didn't really feel like Hashirama had a big impact on this match, which was weird to me, because he's usually one of their biggest factors, I think.
Did he even he didn't really ult much either, did he?
No, he did not.
On default too. That's very uncommon.
Yeah.
He used to ult a lot.
Yeah, I don't think that they had given him Ultimate Chakra Saver here, so
that's true.
The reason is probably because his ult cost was so high, and he just didn't have the chakra for it. Or I could be wrong and he just didn't do it, but that would be weird considering his previous track record. So I mean, as for the rest of Sage, who else was even in this match? It was
Jiraiya and Sage Kabuto were the first, and then Sage Hashirama with Madara and Kabuto for the second line.
Yeah, so Kabuto was the one that was in twice here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Hashirama was out for the majority of the time, in at least the first match, or was that the second? Sorry.
Yeah.
And as for the first one, I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't have any impressions. Do you guys have any? Because for some reason, I'm not thinking of anything.
I remember Snake Cape Kabuto did a really good combo, and I think into an ult, but that's really the only thing I
Sage Kabuto I do remember got an ult or two off, I think. So that was good, and he was good last week too. So I think that he's good for them, and I think he's on default AI, which is a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
Did I say Snake Cape or
you did
or
say
Sage?
Snake Cape?
Fuck.
We know who you mean. Though.
Yeah. We got you, fam. I've Jiraiya hit an ult, which was I do remember that because that surprised me, and it did a fair amount of damage, so that's good. I just don't think it's a reliable ult to really use, but I mean, he landed it, but we'll see how reliable of a tool it proves to be. And beyond that, I don't think I have too many impressions on how Sage did. I just think that Akatsuki was giving them constant pressure.
That first lineup from Akatsuki just proved very strong and very solid.
Yeah.
They never got to their second lineup, did they? It was all
it was just first lineup. Yep.
Yeah, Pain, Kona, Nagato. I mean, they put in the work and they did really well.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope Sage, gets out of their little rut here and they start, because they have some strong characters, and we all know that they can be a very strong team. So.
Oh, they got a lot of strong assets. It's just getting them to work together.
Yeah. So, any extra thoughts on this?
No.
How about you, Gur?
Nothing I can think of.
Alright, so we'll move on to Sound at Stone. And Sound actually won this match, and thankfully for Stone, it was a lot closer than their previous match. This did go to round 3, and I think Stone did a lot better here. They played to their strengths a lot more, I think. Sound still managed to eke out the win, but I think it was Moo for Stone that kind of dropped the ball this week. Even though he hit an ult once, I don't think he was really contributing a whole lot.
I think Naruto actually was doing really well for Stone.
Yes, he was.
He got a few tilts
that
off.
tilt.
That damage, that was a lot of damage. But he was actually on the field. he between the two, I'd say it was probably him and probably Moo somewhat, because Roshi didn't really feel like much of a factor really. I feel like he tagged out and just kind of was just there as in a support role really. I don't really recall doing moments with him actually in that lineup, even really doing much. So, and then of course Sound really just being strong in general again with another week of awakening from to Yuya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think these were basically just basic awakenings, not even a team awakening. I think they were just
they were still doing some stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, Sound is looking to be quite a force with that awakening, and I'm glad that they are using it effectively because that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm
me.
glad that they're in my division and
Yay!
using it. Yay!
But yeah, as for Stone, I think they did a lot better in general this week. Roshi was in this time, and I think Roshi was good. I think he was just in the first lineup though.
He was in. He did a few things, but again, I don't think it was. I think he was kind of relegated to the back line.
Yeah, he didn't get to go out.
Who especially likes to be out a lot, and then Naruto finally actually stayed out to some extent.
Yeah.
To be honest, he still had a positive effect on the match then.
Yeah.
Because even if he's relegated to the back line, he at least throws out the fireballs.
Oh, his support jutsu is amazing. I love his support jutsu.
Yeah,
I wasn't saying he was doing bad. I was just saying on the field per se, he just kind of got pushed back. So you didn't really see him much on the field doing stuff, but he was still supporting him with his jutsu. So
yeah, I think it was a decent first performance from him. I just would like to see more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see.
All right, so moving on to our next one, we have Taka at Kakashi, and Kakashi won this match.
Yeah.
So I'm sure both Gur and Burn have some thoughts about this match. So
Do you want to go first?
Why don't you?
Why doesn't Burn go first? Get it all out, dude.
Well, I'm starting to think that EMS on Sasuke AI seems real solid, real good, really great for tilts. Fucking doesn't ultimate at all.
Yeah.
So
which
might
is
need to
weird.
go back to defaults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Madara seemed interesting. There was one time where he tried to go awakening but didn't. And he was at least overall aggressive. I loathe the fact that he only hits his first 2 hits.
Yeah.
And it always gets subbed. Always.
Yeah, pretty much always.
Apart from that, I mean, my team just kept running through their subs. And I will say, Suigetsu still had his grab on.
Yeah.
Which is a bad thing.
And I think really that was the thing that made it to where you guys had such a hard time. You just didn't have subs like the whole match.
Yeah, it was the subs and the fact that, you know, Jugo decided to try and counter ult in the second lineup when we had two caps in our advantage and 8 team ults.
Yeah, and previously you were having issues with Madara not being out enough, right? And it felt like in this match he was out a whole lot and just ate through his subs. And so him using up all the subs and then just getting, you know, the whole team having to take damage.
He was on Sasuke AI this week. Week 1 he was on default, so maybe default is the better choice.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that there's a solid AI out there for him because he was pretty decent last season on, you know, obviously default.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's surprising to me that you're having such a hard time making him work.
Well, I mean,
just put everyone on Jugo AI.
I might need to do that. But the problem that I'm having with him is that he's having a hard time finding a place in the team because everyone else feels fairly solid already.
They have like a role.
Yeah, they all have a role. They all feel, you know, fleshed out and whatnot. Also, the only thing that I don't like about him is that he and Suigetsu have the same kind of first hit.
Yeah.
Where his is a little shoulder tackle, and Suigetsu's is a little kick, and if they don't hit, the AI usually won't continue it.
Mm-hmm.
So, having both of them on the same lineup is proving to be really aggravating.
Yeah. That seems to be a common thing with, like, characters like that have a short first hit, and I think really the biggest thing that you can do to solve it is just body flicker. But like, I mean,
he had body
yeah,
flicker.
I know.
Both of them did.
I know that they did, and at the same time, like, I mean, there's only so much that I can do. So I mean, you know, I wish that he was out on the field and did some more stuff other than just eat subs. But I mean, I felt like the rest of your team would have done fine if not for eating the team ult and not having subs ever. So
yeah.
Anyway, Gur, what are your thoughts? Did we lose him? Oh, you're still here. Okay. I thought I lost you for a sec.
He's still taking in the moment.
Well, he's also multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing builds, and I'm eating, and I'm talking to you, so... Yeah, so, first of all, to sort of touch on the whole, subs issue. Welcome to my team for, like, the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And, substitution logs, they're a thing I would recommend everyone consider.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to look into maybe using those over some of the Book of the Mind's Eye that we have, maybe. Because I think substitution logs can be very useful. Especially when you don't have any subs, or they prevent you from eating through subs, so I think that's actually pretty cool, because they don't use your subs if you have them.
I guess the only concern of them is if your characters maybe are a little more passive. Sometimes they might use them just not even being within combat, so like it'll just go to waste. Whereas at least with Mind's Eye, it will replenish your gauge regardless of what you're doing. So that's kind of the positive.
Yeah.
But I think for a more aggressive team or an aggressive lineup, or even a character that you put in a more aggressive role, it might be good for them.
Yeah.
So definitely I see.
Sorry.
You're good.
Aside from the sub issue, I think the big issue Attacker faced was the map size.
I think that was probably the case too.
Yeah, I don't think Martyr had much of a chance to Awakening with a map that small.
Yeah, and I think that will be something that a lot of characters that are built around Awakening will struggle with. Is just not having space to do so. Especially, I think Lookout Tower is even smaller than your home map, Burn.
It's one of the smaller stages. It's smaller. It's about the same size as Uchiha's home stage too.
Yeah.
Which is like very small. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think Burn has a small stage, and Lookout Tower is a very small stage, which we only have like 4 of. So. Yeah.
I believe it. That could have been a factor. But hey, I mean, I'm just trying out the Awakening stuff on Madara for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what direction I want to go with him.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't think that it would be that big of a factor, but I could definitely be wrong.
Yeah, and I think honestly, just the whole space thing, because I noticed the one time that he did try to awaken, I don't remember who was out, it might have been like Naruto or something, was like really close and just dashed him.
Yeah, I think that's the thing to remember is, with a map that small, even without any dash rolls or anything, they can pretty much get into contact with a dash from anywhere in the map.
Yeah, that is a thing. When you're at home, you don't even like need dash scrolls. You can get across the map in just one dash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a very good thing to bring up, and I think I think maybe in the future those very small maps may be highly contested in bidding, because I think having a very small map like that can be a very desirable thing for, I would say, most teams. So hopefully, you know, if you, I think you are trying an Awakening build for him next week. Hopefully it turns out a little better this time around.
Yeah, it's not as involved with the Awakening as it was against Kakashi, but who knows?
Yeah.
I wanted to see a Team Awakening with Madara, Jugo, and Suigetsu, but
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that Madara and Suigetsu should both be on the same team.
Yeah, that's kind of iffy to me.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
What sort of stat boost are you putting on him next week?
Next week I have Madara's mostly focused on Jutsu spam and Chakra +3 and whatnot.
Right.
Along with just Awakened Fury. Or not Awakened Fury, but Released Power. So just 1 point into the Awakening instead of Regenerator and also Chakra Control and also the Awakening.
Yeah, something I was considering that, I mean, you might consider a piece of advice for the listeners to consider if you're going for an Awakening build. Like, go for a defense up to
that's true.
get more time.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that led to Taka not having such a good time in this match. But I will say, I feel like Kakashi was pretty on point too.
I'll say Team 7. I mean, I loved just that combination was there, and it actually worked well together. So, even got a team ultimate off of that. So with that actual team, so very nice actually. And sometimes I find teams that are actually like themed like that. Sometimes, especially with the chemistry, I feel like sometimes they can just be more aggressive generally.
Yeah.
So just like for example, like Guy and Lee, like they can be really nasty together just because of that chemistry they have. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and I think that is something that goes all the way back to like when we were on Storm 3. There were always theories that certain teams, if they were themed, just kind of did better. So, yeah, I mean, I think... Now, Gur, I do want to ask you a quick question about Sasuke. I think, did you not... What was the thing we were talking about, Burn, that we were kind of confused about? Was it the AI?
It was the AI change, and also the fact that he had the... I didn't like the fact that he had the grab damage boost, but not the grab range boost, because that would make that grab, like, never miss. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. So, Gur, you may be thinking of using that in the future? I don't know. Like, the extended reach scroll.
Yeah. Also, in the contention match for Double Sharingan Kakashi, like, Sasuke was amazing in that match. Why aren't you using that AI?
I mean, part of it was I wanted to experiment a little.
That's fair.
The big thing as for why I didn't put the range boost thing was I was kind of hoping I'd find an AI where he might, do jutsu on. Because I don't feel I really have a good jutsu character right now. Yeah. And I'm kind of trying to see who would fit the role better, Sasuke or Kakashi.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that is fair. I think other than that, like, Kakashi did really solid, like...
yeah, that lineup is stupid good.
Yeah, it's very good. So, we will finally move on to our next match, which was actually...
do we have to?
Yeah. Do we have to? Come on, Dad. Hokage.
Hokage won, Jin got wrecked. Let's move on to the final match.
That sounds like playoffs last season.
Yeah, so Hokage swept us. That was cool. Now, I will say I am happy for Hokage. I think that they did very well. But, I mean, like...
Hokage Naruto, god damn.
Yeah, he was really good. Which is cool, because I think Naruto's in this league have a history of kind of being just kind of okay.
Yeah, I've always felt like Hokage Naruto, sometimes it's been kind of like lackluster somewhat. Like, he has a really good, like, jutsus and things with, elements behind him, but sometimes I just feel like he just kind of doesn't always, like, perform very well. Like, he's just kind of just there, and...
Yeah,
oh boy,
not the case this time.
He was not just there, he was in there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was a big thing. Now, we also did try an Awakening build on Kushina, and that didn't actually work out. She didn't awaken one time.
No teams even attempted it, and I know Hokage also had Awakening.
Yeah, and they didn't use it either. So
yeah, they never. Yeah, so either side didn't really get what they were looking for in that.
The only one that actually was able to was Sound, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Which it just seems like that's a consistent thing for them. Like, they're going to be that team that's just like,
they're going to be the Awakening team.
So, I mean, that's kind of how we ended up setting them up to be. So, I mean,
it makes
that's
sense.
a thing. I think, honestly, for us, I think that I don't really know what was, like, hugely, other than, like, I'm just trying to think, like, I don't really know what we did wrong. I just think that Hokage was really good.
Say what wasn't expected was the lack of ult usage from Sage Mode Naruto.
Yeah.
Because we had a few AIs that would do it, and the other one was Soccer AI, which is the one that in test actually it was another one that throughout ults is about as consistent as default did. I don't know if I believe it anymore.
Yeah.
He didn't do any ults, not even any blue aura, like even attempts, like he's trying to. It just never happened.
There was just no
so that was a bit concerning there, and I think that kind of hurt a little bit because again he was kind of that burst damage that we kind of needed.
Definitely lessened our damage. And I think it would have been a very good way to counter someone very aggressive like Hokage Naruto. And we just didn't have it. So, I mean, I think that was probably the biggest thing. But still, regardless, I think Hokage did really well, and they should be proud, I think. So, yeah, I think it was a really good match for them. And, yeah. So let's move on to our next one.
The final match.
Yeah, the final one. Mist at
Minato.
And Mist won.
They swept, didn't they? They swept Minato.
They did.
Jeez. Kind of like teams that swept the previous week were getting like swept this week.
Yeah.
Had a theme.
Hanzo was like really good for Mist. I think that them getting Hanzo is a really huge boon for them. I think the tricky thing, though, is that he's going to be a little harder for them to use when they're at home. Just because it's a full water map and he has fire on his jutsu. So it kind of detracts from the damage a little bit.
He still has poison, though.
He does still have poison, and he's still a very good character regardless.
And his ult, he seems to like to use it. And what AI was he on? Was he on default? He was on default this week. Yeah, he threw out quite a few of them, and that ultimate's got pretty good connection rate on it. I'd say, like at least the tracking, because it actually turns a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like ground-based ults aren't used very often, and he's one of those exceptions that not only uses his, ground projectile ult and actually connects with it. So, I mean, I think Hanzo was really good, but also I think Zabuza was doing very well, and so was Haku, actually. A lot of aggression coming from Mist, just in general. I just think Hanzo was out more than anybody else, really. So, and Minato, on Minato's side, I think that they're still having some struggles with trying to get people to work. I know that Sin is still trying to like get somebody to like jutsu spam, and he is apparently having some issues with that.
Well, this is just my opinion, but it's really rough, especially with the new AIs and such, to get people to actually jutsu spam effectively.
Yeah.
Even ult spam.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do. Like, most of the time, you're gonna want to just go to default and see if they like to do that.
Yeah.
Although there are some AIs that do like to jutsu spam.
I will say I think there was a huge lack of jutsus from Kakashi specifically because they went with Anbu, the Anbu costume. And I know that they gave him Lightning Blade, but that is not the jutsu that he has by default. And
yeah.
So we've seen many times in this league where when you give a character their a jutsu that is not their default jutsu, it's nigh impossible to get them to use it for whatever reason. And
yeah,
that's a shame, but at least in Minato's case, they can just use the normal costume and have it use his jutsu. Because he was on default AI. It's not like he was on like some crazy AI or anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's really all there is to it. Just put him on default AI, give him his... you can give him whatever ult you want him, but keep him on Lightning Blade. And I think he'll use it. So
I mean, there is also Madara, who I'm planning on trying to get to jutsu spam. He has shown a tendency to want to use his normal jutsu on default. So hopefully with Chakra Saver it might work more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It probably will, but like
yeah.
Again, Minato's another team that tried to get an awakening out of, and this as well. Actually, both of these teams had a release power, and it just didn't come into effect. So maybe in the future we'll see more if teams decide to mess around with it some more. I'm hoping they do.
I mean, ever since Sound started doing amazingly with those freaking awakenings, everybody's wanted to try them.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Sound.
Which no, I really like that though. I'm glad that is something that is attracting people because I specifically wanted to make strides to make awakening builds more viable. And I think that has been achieved. It's just that not every team has gotten the recipe down yet. And I think that Sound just kind of lucked out because they happen to have Tuyuya, who loves to go awakening.
And it's kind of funny that typically awakenings were always related to in the previous seasons. People are always trying to find ways to not have them
prevent
not do it. Now prevent them. Now people are trying to find ways to actually have them be used. So it's good though, because awakening should be something that should be kind of like a trump card, something that they can use that can maybe turn the tide of a match. And especially with some of these new scrolls, especially certain ones that persist even if that character tags in another one, help immensely more. It makes it much more valuable.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if only there was some way to prevent people from doing a solo awakening, but I don't really know that that's a thing, so fortunately it seems like no. But yeah, no, I think Mist did very well, and I think Minato just was trying a whole lot of stuff here, and I don't think most of it worked out. Unmasked Obito was still good, and Yamato seemed like he was doing fine as well. It's just that Mist came out there with a lot of aggression, and it seems like Minato just did not have an answer to it this week. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all there is to it. All right, so that wraps it up for our overview of preseason week 2. So now we're gonna move on to endcast questions. Does anybody have the thread currently pulled up?
Yeah, I got it right here. We actually got a few, actually.
Oh, nice.
So, and quite a few actually have multiple questions as a part of the post to them. So, but we'll get right into it. The first one is from Sin. So he just had a few questions.
Oh, gosh.
What was that?
It's a few questions.
Yeah, most of these have like 4, between 2 to 4 in each post, like in terms of who's got it. So there's not just one question; it's a multiple. So we'll see. We'll try to get through these as quick as possible. So, and some of these probably are gonna be hard to answer regardless. So we'll just see what we can do here. So, his first question is: do you guys feel like the new scrolls are making as much of an impact that you thought they would, particularly in the new palms and the style scrolls?
I think by style scrolls he means like the combination.
The Lotus ones, yeah. Maybe the ankle weights, maybe stuff like those things. Things that have multiple effects per, the 3-pointers usually.
Yeah. I think it has caused a lot more experimentation, which is great. Especially with the palms. Quite a few people are trying out the palms. There are quite a few people that are trying out the oh god, Shikigami dance.
Yeah, Shikigami dance. Gur, I think you were using Shikigami dance on Naruto, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so...
Yep.
Seems like a good thing. It
seemed good.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of builds, you'll see these scrolls in there in a lot of builds. Again, people you won't use them, so I'd say the impact is clear.
The funny thing about Shikigami dance is whenever I'm watching the matches, I'm like, is this helping? I don't know. Because it does so many things at once. It's a bit hard to tell how much it's helping. But it does seem to be effective.
Well, yeah, because if you're using it, it's technically saving you a point, as opposed to if you were trying to use all these things at once. Because Shikigami dance is super dash, body flicker, at least the movement effects of body flicker, and I believe also, was it lightweight?
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightweight, all wrapped up in one, and normally that would be 4 points, but it's 3 points instead. So I think that it is a pretty helpful thing. So I'm glad that people are using these. I don't think they're using them as much as I mean, I don't want to say as much as I would like, because I think that these are niche scrolls and not everybody's going to need them.
It's still preseason, and at least there's experimentation.
That's true, and that's really all we can ask for it as the people who push these scrolls out, you know?
I mean,
like the...
Like, from the perspective of a captain, like a scroll like Shikigami dance, it is a bit hard to find a good use for, just because while all of the bonuses it gives are like movement and aggression focused, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
So you might not always want that specific set.
Yeah.
I feel like a good point of those styles could also be like if you use a lot of like dash scrolls, or you use up all your body flips, and you still want to give someone the effect of that without breaking that limit, you can apply these, and so then that way you kind of get a third one in there without actually being illegal in a sense. So you get that bonus. So that's a very big positive for that.
It may not be, it may end up not being a scroll that people put into their main lineups or their official builds for a character, but it's more a situational thing that they put in depending on the week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And as for palm scrolls, what do you guys think is like the most popular palm scroll right now? At least of our new ones.
I'd say for me, I see a lot of. I've seen some sluggish and also some.
Seeing a lot of piercing.
Piercing. Yeah, piercing as well. Yeah, I was gonna say the defense one, and now some of the movement ones too. I've seen.
I see siphon palm every so often, but it is kind of a big investment. It's 3 points. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a filthy Gen 1er. I still enjoy the poison and molten palm.
I see.
Just for the certainty of it. Just like boom, if you pull off the combo ender, you do get 3 damage. Like it's
yeah.
It doesn't require any any further input from the.
Yeah, like for instance, Jugo on this week is going to have Sluggish Palm. So if he gets any air combos off and hits him with a finisher, that speed down is going to be great. But he also requires following it up. If Taka hits with his defense down palm, it requires him to follow up. Whereas the poison or fire palm, just it finished the combo, then there you go.
Yeah,
there's a dot.
That is actually a very good point, Gur. I'm glad you bring that up. I think Siphon Palm then would fall into the category where you don't have to follow up. It's just a bigger investment, so people don't use it as often.
Some Palm trying to say is they may not be as flashy, but don't overlook Molten and Poison Palm.
Yeah. No, Molten and Toxic are really useful, especially if you just want to wear an opponent down Toxic. I would say it's the best way to do it because it lasts such a long time that they can switch out and back in and the poison will still be in effect. So
yeah,
it's kind of a big thing, and I'm glad that people at the moment it seems like range characters are pretty much the main users of those, but I've seen it used on a couple melee characters still. But people want to play with the new tools.
I've been using it on Naruto.
Yeah, I did see that. But people want to play with the new scrolls, the new tools, and I definitely can't blame them for that. And I'm happy.
It's the PlayStation. It's perfect update.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at with the new scrolls and whatnot is it has been causing a lot more experimentation, which is fantastic. Because one of the biggest problems that I see as a staff member for DBZ League is that because we can't really introduce new things or new effects with their Pataras, people will just have essentially a set build. Okay, so Yamcha will probably always have a melee build, attack +2, serious, some kind of clash boost, maybe Dendays, and just melee.
Yeah.
Compared to with this, okay, I have to think about if my character likes to start their combos or finish their combos. Essence of striking or essence of finishing. I have to think about, does their dash go all the way across the field? Is it slow, like Jugo's? Well, then he probably needs a dash scroll, that kind of thing. There's way more ways to interact with a character with these new scrolls.
And that is an issue that I've seen, is that there's really, you fall into a rhythm in DBZ League very often, and you're just like, okay, well, this is what works, so I'm just going to use this forever.
Well, it's not,
unless
it's a lot less a rhythm. It's more of this is how I can squeeze the most potential out of my character. Yes, and this works.
This is the optimum choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think
there can be experimentation around that in DBZ League, but it's not as big as with Naruto League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we near the end of the season, we'll see a bit more solidified builds starting to form, and for various characters. But thanks to these new scrolls, there'll always be some variation and some decisions to be made week in and week out.
Yeah, and that's something that's cool.
I can almost guarantee you that if you were to look at two characters that were functionally the same, had the same kind of overall moveset and hit just as hard. Let's take two examples of, let's say, Suigetsu and Zabuza. They're fairly even, wouldn't you guys say? Especially with the passives and whatnot.
I would say, yeah.
That's fair.
Okay. I could totally look at Zabuza and go, he would probably have this kind of build. But then I look at Suigetsu and go, he would have a completely different one. just because of what's available and his behavior and whatnot.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It seems a lot less based on, especially with character categories. It seems a lot more like nuanced, and different characters have niches, whereas before, in past seasons especially, it could feel like every character just kind of is a little different. They just have combos and an ult and a jutsu, and that's it, but I think we have a lot of extra depth, especially this season, and last season, of course, too, with builds being a thing, but especially this season, I think.
Yeah, I'm noticing when I'm looking through builds, a lot of times you're not going to see a lot of the same stuff. Usually there's a difference here or there with maybe a point with the scroll or someone going a different direction. You're not seeing just the same cut and paste stuff as much as we used to see, which is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question?
Yeah, to actually get back onto...
we have a ton. So let's continue on.
Okay, so next one was the preseason is still in its early stages, but have you guys noticed an increase in the potency of melee fighters? I certainly have, and it's nice to see a lot of teams have a melee fighter be one of their best fighters, whereas last season only a few teams did.
Yes.
Definitely. Last season definitely had more of an ult / jutsu focus.
Yeah.
And with the introduction of AIs, a lot of melee fighters have come out of the woodworks, and I think it's pretty cool, especially with the defense changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If anything, now it seems like those characters that are spammy are a little bit more rare and more valuable.
Yeah.
Which I personally like. I like having more of a melee focus with certain characters specializing more so in maybe some more ult type damage, as opposed to everyone just going crazy.
Yeah. And the difference is that everybody can pull off melee to some degree, but there are certain characters that are definitely more suited towards spamming. And those ones are usually the ones that you will see spam.
And you could see last season, it was a genuine problem where we had to start, nerfing ranged characters with ranged ults. We had to start removing UCS and whatnot. Ultimates hit hard.
Yeah.
Whereas, melee can hit hard, especially with this season. I mean, look at fucking Raikage. But you can have a bit more counterplay with that as well. You can sub their combo and go into your own combo, and they're trapped.
Yeah, and especially if you have tools like Body Flicker or Flying Thunder God, it makes it even easier to do something like that. The sub combo kind of play.
Yeah.
Counter with your own combo sort of thing.
Even with it's not dynamic entry, but the other one, Unstoppable.
Unstoppable, yeah.
When you leader change, that affects that, correct?
I don't actually think so. I think
know
that can
that
still be blocked.
if you were to jump or dash into a dash cut, it would go straight through it.
Oh yeah, well that is a thing. If you, this was actually a question for a little while now, and I finally decided to go in game and test it out with Unstoppable in effect. But normally, if you were to chakra dash into a dash cut support or a charge guard, or I guess a break guard too, potentially, you'll bounce off and you'll have a knockback, and you'll have a little bit of a stun for a moment. And so that person, we've seen it happen a few times where a dash cut sets up an ultimate or something of that nature, or just a counter combo or something. But if you have Unstoppable, you'll still disrupt the support that comes in to stop you, and they will still stop you. Your chakra dash won't go straight up through them, but you don't have that knockback, and you have the ability to either dash again immediately or follow up with something like maybe an ultimate of your own, a jutsu of your own, or just combo through that support. And I think that's really cool.
It really helps keep that momentum, because that's what the dash cuts do. They stop the momentum, and that can really change the pace of the match, especially if it's going in your favor.
Which was a huge issue, by the way.
Yep.
One of the biggest reasons why we limited it to only one character is because it would completely disrupt the flow of a match, and especially for ranged characters.
You never get through.
You'd never be able to get through, but now there's so many options.
Yeah, which is awesome. I don't even know how many scrolls we have introduced this season. It's got to be over 20.
Yeah, with that specifically in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, melee fighter's a lot more potent.
Yeah. And
So
I think that's a good thing.
It is.
Definitely. So the next part of the question, again, it's early preseason, but do you guys have a character in particular you like to watch fight off your own team, respectively? I tend to like watching Zabuza even when he's tilting my face off.
Okay, so characters that aren't on your own team that you enjoy watching. I'll go last.
Or even of your own team, I think, too, possibly. I think he said...
No, he did say off your own team.
Oh, off your... Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gur, you go first.
I don't know, like going back all the way to the early season, I've always enjoyed watching Jugo fight.
Jugo is fun. He's fun.
Yeah, I just enjoy the, he is sort of the original, like, heavy melee guy. So...
Yeah, that's true. He kind of was like, even back in like season 1 and 2, he was kind of like that guy that would run through teams with just nothing but melee.
Yeah, and as people will probably notice by a lot of my builds and my choice of map, I enjoy melee fighting and melee builds.
Oh, that's good, because a lot of the new scrolls are very much oriented toward that, so you have a lot of options, and I think especially Jugo, I'm sure Burn, you've had a lot of options with how to build him, because he is a very one-track character, and that he's like, okay, well, he's really good at doing this one thing, which is just beating the shit out of people. So we can build around that, and you have a lot of options for that.
I mean, I still have an alt Jugo in the back.
That's true.
Waiting in the wings in case I really need to bring it out.
Yeah.
Because there was default, which just loves alting for some fucking reason.
That's true.
There's also a couple more.
There's also Jugo AI, which technically is a little different, so I don't know if that's actually still ult spammy.
Yeah. But I could give him like Ultimate +1 and UCS and just see what happens.
Yeah. That is pretty cool.
The game probably will crash.
How about you, Burn?
Well, if we're talking about including other seasons, then I would have to say Raikage, because he's always been super flashy, super melee, and just beats your face in. And especially in the previous seasons where he has just out of nowhere, okay, here's an ult.
Yeah.
Let me just toss you up and frickin' Batista bomb you.
Batista bomb you.
Yeah, basically. But this season so far in the preseason, I've liked how and also in season 2 as well, Hashirama has fought. Oh, I just like their combos, both Hashiramas.
For me, somebody I really enjoy is Hebi Sasuke, because his ult is awesome, and I think that he has some of my favorite combos in the game. I play him a lot, actually, when I play the game myself. So I think I just enjoy watching him a lot. I think his combos are really cool looking. Got a lot of style to them, and especially the way that he uses his ult in the league is really fun to watch and react to when commentating. Just being like, oh, there's another ult, and it's kind of a fun thing. I think he is one of the characters that I find the most appealing when doing Naruto League.
Yeah, what's his record for ults in a match?
I think it was like 8 ults in one match that connected. It was like back in season 3 or something. It's something crazy. I don't know if it was season 2 or season 3, but I remember it was against Stone, and he hit 8 ults on Datara in a single match.
Wasn't it like the week after they got knocked out of any chance?
Yes.
To get into the playoffs?
Yeah, it was. So I think it must have been season 2 that it happened, because the week after, yeah.
It was just like, where has this been all season?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't think he's ever touched 8 ults in a match since, but I would be very interested to see him break that record at some point. How about you, Gomo?
Especially if this includes like previous seasons. Honestly, I've always enjoyed watching Sokka a lot of times, because just a lot of her attacks are very powerful. Not as flashy as Raikage's, but I always do like when she connects with those combos. So I don't know. I guess I always just kind of liked it in general.
Honorable mention for me, Karin. I love watching Karin fight. Just those drop kicks and her combos and that grab. It's beautiful, and I do play her.
Against other teams, not
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Alrighty. So next question.
Yeah, well, this is the final part of this question. Like I told you, this is the 4-parter.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Yeah. Awakenings are on a team-by-team basis currently, which I think is good. What are your thoughts on the status of Awakenings in the league? I think we kind of talked about it.
We did cover it a bit, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. We might be introducing something somewhat soon, but we'll have to talk about that. Unless you want to just fucking announce it now.
Nah, we can keep it for a little bit later.
I'll say I think they're in a decent, a better place than they've been in the past. Because people are actually wanting maybe to try to utilize them as opposed to not wanting to. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past, they, as a rule, have been generally just bad.
At least in season 4,
they do nothing.
I would have won if I wouldn't have awakened. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you awaken and your awakening does nothing. You deal no damage, and now you have debuffs, and you just get wrecked.
Yeah.
I could fight, or I could awaken.
There have been several times last season when that happened, so we made sure to turn everything off. But now there's people, especially with AIs, that have found, holy shit, they like to do this, and it works.
Yeah. I think in seasons 1, 2, and 3, Awakenings were actually something people wanted, but then season 4 hit, and we were like, oh, wow, pretty much everybody sucks when they're on Awakening. It's kind of like transformations in DBZ League. It's kind of like they become like completely different, strangely enough. Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying with AIs, we have a lot more control over how they act. And not only that, but outside of Awakening too, where it's like, okay, well, they're solid outside of Awakening. Now let's mess around and play with like how they would do in Awakening, especially if that character has like a unique moveset in Awakening. Yep. Although, you know, for characters that are solid outside of Awakening, it's probably more like reliable for them to be good in Awakening because their moveset's not different at all. So the AI might just still be good. I don't know. Something to think about. But Awakenings as a whole, I think people are still warming up to them. Especially after last season, I think they left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But I think that right now we're on the track to them being viable again, and I think when that happens, I think they will be very exciting to see teams mess around with, because there are a lot of cool Awakenings in this game, and seeing them just wreck teams, even if it's your own team, can be kind of entertaining just because it's something cool and different.
Like modder.
Yeah. All right, so we do have more questions, right?
Yeah, we do. Thanks for the questions, Tim.
We also have a new one from Pie Guy as well.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Nice.
so we got more. Okay, I'll refresh that then in a moment. Okay, so next one is from Momijibot. A couple questions. What lineups are you excited to see tried from other teams?
That is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Lineups from other teams. Somebody else start if you have any idea of what your answer would be, because I'm still thinking about mine.
I would have to say from Team Guy, double 10-10.
They did that.
They did do
It
that.
was real good.
I want to see that every week. I think they can actually do that.
They can,
They
yeah.
should do that.
Yeah, they can.
Unless, one of them's benched.
Yeah, except when one of them's benched, they could theoretically do that.
That's why I'm saying they can't do it every week.
But if they could. For me, this is a hard question. Fuck.
Yeah, this is a hard question for me too.
I would maybe say Udakata Yagura. I wouldn't mind seeing that combination.
Yeah, we haven't seen Udakata a lot.
Especially if they have an awakening thing going on. Seeing both of them would be pretty nice. Actually.
Yeah.
That, or even maybe I wouldn't mind even seeing. I don't know if at all, but the double Sakura.
Double Sakura, yeah.
That could be something.
That's cool.
I need to look at Akatsuki's really quick. Hold on.
Any character alongside Mecha Naruto. Mecha Naruto. No.
All right. Here's what I want. I want just Pain and Nagato.
Just Pain and Nagato. Oh God. Almighty push.
Just those two. Yeah.
Almighty dab.
And turn Nagato's friggin' jutsu to Almighty push.
Yeah. That could be really cool.
It could be real interesting. Especially with Nagato's kind of ultimate kind of style. Put both of them on a tanky build and just see what
happens. Yeah, that would be real cool.
If I'm sorry,
it wouldn't work against a ranged character or a character with a lot of ranged supports and whatnot, but it could work against a really melee aggressive character, just consistently knocking them back.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Honestly,
if he was still in on a team like Double Neji versus Pain Nagato.
Oh God.
A rotation versus Almighty Push.
That would be painful.
I could fight, but I could rotation or push you.
I could fight or I could push you.
And then just touch me until I can get my
satisfaction.
Until I can get my rotation.
Have we seen Onoki and Boo on the same team this season?
I don't think so, not yet.
I would actually really like to see
usually were
that.
really good last season.
Yeah, I don't think we have. That could be a nice combination, actually.
Yeah, I think that's what my answer is gonna be.
Man, I kind of want to see. I don't know if they've done this already, but Roshi Naruto, just those two.
Just those two. I don't think they have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but of course Roshi would have to do good.
Yeah.
Melee and stuff.
Which he has been in
Or
tests,
maybe.
so.
Maybe put on default and try and do alts and shit. Huh?
Even grabs. I found he grabs pretty good too. His grab's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next part. Who do you expect to be free agent benched once the season proper starts?
Suigetsu.
Oh God. Another hard.
Madara.
Well, this
Madara what?
This is also kind of another hard question because it takes a lot of insight into other teams' sort of process, and not every team talks about
Sasuke.
that. Oh
like
God.
This question, I feel would be a lot easier to answer at the end of the preseason. So,
that's true.
I would find it so hilarious if the team even greenlit it. I don't think they did, but like me just putting EMS Sasuke on the bench for week 1, and then free agent
bringing
bench
him
swap back in the next week.
You fucking troll. Who am I expecting? Oh, jeez. I think at the moment, I don't really see anybody like standing out and doing incredibly bad right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't replace anyone that's just doing horrible after 2 weeks. That I would warrant them saying this probably would be your bench, but
Donzo.
I'm going to. I'm gonna say Sakano-kun.
Yeah,
Legitimately.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one, actually.
Like he has a ton of potential, but he just isn't pulling out yet. The only other person that I would say should be benched is Darky for all of those errors that happened last season and last week. There you go.
Sorry, he's only a support jutsu anyways.
Listen, man, it's a fucking process, okay?
No.
Do you want to
I'm
help?
gonna listen to you, you fuck.
Do you want to fucking help?
I did an entire folder by my goddamn self.
I know.
I came up with all of the AIs by myself. You want me to do fucking more?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Would you like fries with that too?
In all seriousness, as for people I expect to be FA benched, I think what you said previously, Sakano-kun, is a strong possibility. Just because I don't think there's enough time for them to really make him work. I think he can.
Compared to the other members of the team, everyone is showing really. You'd be hard pressed to say he's better than X character on their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know for us specifically at Team Jinchuriki, we're having a real hard time being like, who's gonna go on the bench? Because
you think you have a hard time?
yeah, well, I mean, if anything, you can be like, oh, Madara, because he's not doing anything. But
yeah, but we wasted all of our fucking Z.
I know.
Rio, sorry.
Hey, I just benched Sugetsu because he's like a wet noodle.
Yeah, you know what?
What noodle man? Yeah, I'm gonna just leave this question and say that I mean, it's really hard to say, and I think that at the moment, Sakano-kun is unfortunately like the only one I can really think of.
One of the few that stands out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to make a guess at what I think Darky will end up benching for Jinchuriki, I'm gonna have to go Sage Mode Naruto, because that giant scroll is just weighing him down.
Well, he has costumes where he's not wearing it, so there's that.
Yeah, he's got his school costume, which looks super sick. Why don't you?
Yeah, but he looks like a frog, so.
We used it last week and we lost, so I don't know.
It's like frog eyeliner, and that ain't normal.
Yeah, but Gasso has costume where he doesn't have the eyeliner, so.
It is still there in spirit.
Anywho,
The next part of the question, ready?
yeah.
Again, I think this is a little bit too early or hard to answer just because it's so early in the preseason. So, next part is what AIs do you want to see used more? Are any AI choices from the preseason so far surprising?
Man, I don't fucking know.
It's another difficult one because I feel like there's been a pretty good variety of AIs used. I don't think there's like ones that are like not being used. I mean, even default is getting a lot of attention.
I would like to see. I think I would like to see Obito AI more.
Modern AI, I think, is another one I don't see as much of either.
Yeah, that's true.
Obito AI has been like very grab heavy, and I think there's a lot of characters that can like make use of that. And we're actually trying it next week on Fu-chan. Yeah. Yeah, we are actually. Fu-chan. That And maybe like Kakashi AI. I feel is not that common.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much of Kakashi aside from like Kushina. I think it's like years around.
Yeah, we've been trying that on her. It's been doing okay. I'm still thinking at the moment maybe Raikage is the stronger AI for her, but we still need to try Kakashi AI more.
I think Kakashi AI just isn't very standout.
Yeah.
It's a very neutral AI, seemingly.
Yeah. Seems like it. I think that Gara AI is a little underused. I think we should see a little more of that one.
Whatever, man.
That one's just very uncommon. As well as Jugo AI. I don't ever see that one. And good old Kabuto AI. Also very uncommon.
Okay, could you take the microphone out of the back of your throat?
No.
For 1 minute.
Because I got it along with this candy cane.
There we go. There we go.
Get your peppermint breath ass out of here.
Anyway, on to the last part of this question. With the new Awakening Scrolls announced, do you think we'll start seeing full 5-point Awakening builds?
Yes.
Hype.
I do. And
I don't know.
I think it could be something, I mean, specifically.
I could see it on a couple of Sounds characters, but not too many characters yet.
You know what? Fuck that. 6-point. 6-point Awakening builds. Fuck the 5-point. Fuck the Heaven Scroll. Just go.
Because there'll be a Heaven Scroll that basically just gives like Awakening +1 or something.
+1.
Awakening +2.
Incoming scroll that makes it so you can awaken immediately.
Incoming scroll.
You didn't hear it here first, though.
I awaken the second the match starts.
You just start it in Awakening.
Or a scroll that you use that instantly kills the opponent. Yeah, because they.
That'd be dope. That'd be awesome.
You gotta put a lot of points to it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, next question. We have 3.
So the next question is actually from Spoofy. Thanks again, Momiji, for the question you had. Spoofy, which new characters that you are most happy to see this season that weren't used or utilized much last season? Well, I would say Utakata, but he hasn't been in.
Yeah, Zal.
He's on Mist, and we haven't seen him yet.
Fucking, where is he? You're hyping him up like,
Jugo?
oh, he's so good! And then, we're not even gonna see him until this week. What's up with that?
I'm gonna say Shikamaru and Jugo.
PTS Choji.
Yeah, actually, I'd probably say that probably one too. I would never thought we would have seen him at all. Ever.
Yeah, and he's apparently good. PTS Tamari, even though we haven't seen her yet, the thing is that Sand is trying to use her. Didn't quite get it last week, but I really like PTS Tamari.
Just stop being so solid. Just stop.
Stop it. I mean, there are some characters we've never seen, like PTS Konkoro. Again, going with Sand. And, as well as Kimimaro hasn't been seen in a while. And I think he's actually been doing okay.
Oh, you also, how could you forget Mecha Naruto?
Yeah, because I forgot him.
Yeah.
I just really wanted him to be a thing. And I was just so excited about it that I forgot Mecha Naruto existed. Anyhow, next question.
Next part of the question, which type of builds do you think will be the most prominent this season? Melee, tank, jutsu spam, ult spam, tilt, grab, awakening, mixed builds.
What do you guys think?
I think we'll see a lot of melee still.
A lot of melee.
And tank probably more prominent, but melee a lot because I feel there's a lot of scrolls for that, and I think a lot of characters can do melee more consistently than some of the other variations.
I'm gonna say awakening because a lot of people are trying it during the
That's true. Yeah.
If it works.
And I would love to see more awakening builds. the types that I think will be the most prominent are melee and tank.
Yeah.
As well as tilt and grab. Actually, something that wasn't mentioned here is I think we might see dash builds.
Yep.
Because
especially like we have a lot of dash squirrels now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect builds revolving around unstoppable to be a thing.
Like mobility overall, pretty much.
Unstoppable, dynamic entry, and the speed down pursuit scroll.
Yeah.
Like I could see that being real crazy.
Yeah. I mean there are many more options now for dashing. And I think for characters with melee tilts at the very least that they can put 4 points into their tilt and possibly get a lot out of it. So that's really cool. As for mixed builds, I think those always intrigue me, but I don't know if they're the best idea. So, I don't know. I kind of get my build philosophy from Burn, kind of, from when I first joined DBZ League. He was like, no, just invest into one thing and kind of just commit to that instead of...
Like, find a thing that it likes to do and go all in on it. It usually creates the most potential and the most results.
But I do think that there are some AIs that can utilize mixed builds. And I think that for those niche characters, I think that those would be cool to see. But definitely will not be the most prominent type of build out there. Yeah. I still think that's melee and tank builds.
Alright, that was it for Spoofy. So the last and final question we got is from Pagat. And this is probably more of a question for you, Orange, and maybe a little bit Burn possibly. But can you take us through the thought process of coming up with scrolls? Is there forms of inspiration when coming up with the concepts aside from our sister league?
This is a very cool question.
Yeah, really cool. There are 2 scrolls that I can think of off the top of my head that did essentially come straight from DBZ League, and that is Essence of Striking and Essence of Finishing.
Yes.
That was straight up from Quick Fast Attack and Charged Attack.
Yeah.
The idea that, okay, so you're going to hit for your quicker attacks and not be able to finish moves. There you go. That's Quick Fast Attack. That's Essence of Striking. But you always finish your combos. There you go. Essence of Finishing. Yeah.
Which, you know, we don't have charged attacks in this game, so really that's the closest we could get to that kind of idea. Well, a lot of my personal ideas when it comes to scrolls now, it's a little bit different as compared to last season. Last season, I found out a bunch of things I could do with character stats, and so a lot of the scrolls that I came up with last season were based around stat modifications. You can see this through just kind of what scrolls were there before. We have air step, faster ninja dash speed. We have stuff like, well, lightweight was only in the preseason last season, but it was still a thing. Naruto's chakra sharing technique, pack rat, relentless, berserker, super dash, ultimate dash, stuff like that. Most of that is related to their direct stats, which is stuff like probably what Gur is modifying right now, a file called the dual player param. And a lot of these things are modified just from this one place. And a lot of the initial scrolls I came up with were very just, you know, focused on direct stat modifications. But now that I've gotten pretty much everything out of those files that I possibly can, a lot of these new scrolls are now focused more on their actual movesets and doing interesting things to kind of change it up and just give different characters ways to play to their strengths. And I think things like the palm scrolls were the first departure into that kind of territory.
Yeah, because those are just straight up damage IDs which apply a item effect.
Yeah, like I made new damage IDs for those scrolls, and I applied them to every finisher damage ID, and that was really the first foray into it. But after that, I started doing a lot of, more palms, but then I discovered, how to make things unblockable, and I was like, okay, well, that would be really cool for a chakra dash to kind of just add more utility. And it's, the more I think about it, the more is like my process. It's like, well, I think of a specific character or a specific team and think like, what kind of things would be really cool? Like, what kind of tools would be really cool for this character to have? And I think about, okay, well, let's expand that to, how would it be on this team? And then how I would expand it to, well, how would it be for the entire league? Would it be balanced? And how would it affect everybody?
That's when he usually brings it to me and whatnot. We chat about it and whatnot.
I have more ideas, but I don't know if they're balanced.
Can I just say?
Yes.
I'm about 80% sure that you may be some sort of wizard. Because like, when he was explaining all of this to me, I was like, so how did you find out all of this? Like, what all of these, things that you have to edit do? And he was like, oh, I just messed around until I figured out what did what.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Basically just trial and error.
I just had to kind of throw myself into... Because...
I mean, not to go in depth or anything, but just to give people an idea of what it looks like. It's just a bunch of numbers. Like, nothing is labeled. It's just code.
It's like Matrix, pretty much.
Yeah, that's...
And my design philosophy with this is, like, is there any categories or any kind of build archetype that is missing? And maybe we could incorporate something with that. Maybe, what if this were to happen on this character? Would this interaction be okay? Like, for instance, one of the dash scrolls, the attack down dash scroll, the reason why it costs 3 and not 2 is because you could potentially go defense +2, the attack down dash scroll, and the attack down palm. And you have a super tanky character.
Yeah, or...
But that's your build.
Yeah, but the thing that I was worried about was in the opposite direction, where you can just, oh, hey, this extremely aggressive character who's already constantly going to be dashing in your face anyway, that's probably going to have an attack +2, defense -1. Well, if you give that character a flak jacket, that becomes half a defense -1, and then every time they dash, you're lowering that amount of damage that they can potentially do back to you. So you're essentially getting an attack +2 with no negative if you were to use those two scrolls together, which is ridiculous. And
so that's another reason why we made it, if that interaction were to happen, 5 points instead of 4. Because then you could possibly squeeze in like a palm or like a body flicker and whatnot. But with this, you can't. Yeah.
As for other scrolls I really wanted to do for a very long time and didn't get to, the nature change scrolls is something I really wanted to do. That was an idea.
That was a huge breakthrough.
Yeah, that was an idea that Burn and I had mid last season.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Burn was like, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if you could make your jutsu get buffed by water? And I was like, yes, but I have no idea how to do that. So no. And all this time later, and then I find out how to actually do it. And and then I find out the effects of the lightning, which I didn't even know the full details of previously. And so we're like, okay, well, that's kind of OP. Like, But yeah, no, a lot of the philosophy that goes into Scrolls is just looking at a character's lineup and seeing these extensions of what they can do in their moveset, and really just kind of building off of that and making it more varied and be able to play to those specific abilities. Like for instance, when air step became a thing, there were specific characters that had longer ninja dashes. They have a passive lightweight, as we know now.
Yeah, move.
And I was like, yeah, I went to Kaio and I was like, hey, Onoki and Mu both have this. Give them air step and it will be fucking magic. And he was like, okay. And
yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
It was fucking magic.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way I think about it, is like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? And then I actually go in the game and do it, and I'm like, okay, well, this is a little fucking OP, then maybe, you know, I can tone it down. But if I can't tone it down, then I probably won't do it, or I'll make it cost 3 points or something like that.
Like the tilt scroll that makes your fucking tilts unblockable.
Listen, yeah, I still would love that.
Listen, those drop kicks from Kari are already fucking stupid.
They already connect as much as it is already. I don't know if she needs any help.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's another thing is, like, I found an awakening effect that makes it to where your subs constantly refill an awakening, but you're losing health the entire time.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that would be really cool, but also really broken. And I was like, I really want to try to make it work, but I don't know.
That sounds like 8 gates kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it
crazy. Sounds cool, but I would essentially, the thing is, the faster you make the regen, the faster that your health burns, and this doesn't exit you from the awakening like it used to for, like, Guy in Storm 3. Mm-hmm. It will legitimately kill you. Like, it doesn't...
It'll just kill you, yeah.
Yeah, wow. And so I will essentially have to pair it with a regenerator effect just to make it so it doesn't kill you in 10 seconds. And at that point, I'm doing too much for one scroll, and that's kind of a thing, too. Yeah. You don't want to do too much for one scroll because it makes it a pain in the ass for whoever's doing it. Which most of the time...
Not only that, but it makes it a pain in the ass to balance.
Yes, that too.
Like, that's essentially giving you the bonuses for fucking 5 points worth of shit, at the very least.
Which
you have to make that 5 points.
Yeah, and I will say there's another thing that I still found that we haven't done yet, and I don't know if we'll ever do, is that I found not the countering thing, it's the item thing. Do you remember that? Where I found a value that makes the effects of items last longer. Do you remember that?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I found that.
We immediately brought up fucking Sleep Tag and Lightning Kunai.
Well, I think I'm not sure. I think it's only stat increasing items that affect that character.
Or
I don't
like
think
Power Mochi and things like that.
Yeah, I don't think it affects the opponent. And I think that could be balanced because I can, like, change the value to make it different, but at the same time, you know, it can, there are a lot of variables because there's a lot of items.
There's a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit we would have to think
that with the sublog or something like that? Jeez.
Yes, that with the sublog, or that with, like, chakra recovery beads, or,
if there is a way to lock it to just stat posts, like the power mochi and whatnot, that does sound like something that I would, as a coach, would be interested in, just because, similar to the whole palm scroll issue, I'm a bit hesitant about things that require the AI to actively, like,
follow
capitalize.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So having those prolonged might make it less of a risk to take those items.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Yeah.
And you know what? It might actually make some items more useful because there are some items that just never get used.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the shot run pill.
Yeah. I would definitely say this is something for another time to discuss, and it's But I just wanted to bring up, it's an example of something that we could have done but chose not to do.
Yeah, there's also the fucking countering thing.
Yes.
But that's another next season.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is an awesome question. I actually had a lot of fun with that.
It's a very good question, Pie Guy. And with that, that's all the questions actually this week. So
okay,
good amount.
Yeah, and so we are now on predictions for next week. Now, since we're already an hour and a half deep, we're just gonna like not go as in depth last week.
As in depth, yeah.
We're just gonna kind of run through them and give our brief thoughts and impressions.
All right. So with that, match 1, Minato at Guy.
Minato at Guy. In my opinion, I think Guy has a general advantage. I'm not looking at who they have benched and whatnot, but Guy is on a bigger map than Minato's used to.
That's true.
Both of Minato's teams has been at home so far, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So, they have a ranged character. They have 2 ranged characters that can capitalize. They have a lot of stuff going for them compared to Minato, who has a good amount of close range characters except for Obito.
Yeah.
Like, Obito's ultimate might save them this match, but we'll have to see.
Minato might be one of those teams that gets countered really hard by range. Go ahead, Gomo. I'm sorry.
As soon as I was about to ask, I remembered. I keep on mixing up the Kakashis. Because I'm so used to them having double Sharingan and...
Minato has normal Kakashi.
Normal Kakashi, okay.
Yeah, we swapped.
Yeah. What do you guys think? So I'm gonna say Guy.
I'm gonna go with Minato because PTS Senten isn't in.
Oh. Okay.
And I mean, even beyond the PTS Senten name, I think Minato is a very strong team.
I do too.
And I think they might be able to close in and get through. It's going to come down to the Guy's first lineup. Guy versus Guy and Lee. If Guy and Lee can carry it, then I think they'll win. But I don't know. I think Minato might be able to take them down, and then I don't have as much faith in Tenten and Sasuke.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I'm gonna go with a tentative Minato.
Okay.
I think I can go either way though.
Yeah. Gomo, did you go? Or...
No. I think I would probably go with Guys as well. For similar reasons you stated. Just because I feel like, especially at the first lineup, War Guy, War Lee, very strong, and again, that could be a very dangerous team. And with even Lee, his ultimate, that's ridiculous as it is already. So,
yeah.
Even with their loss to Kurenai, they're still a very aggressive team, and I still think it can be very tough once they get going to really kind of match them at their own game.
Yeah, the main thing that worries me is the 10-10 thing, and aside from that, I think that they can do really well. So yeah. All right, so match number 2.
I'm still sticking with Guy, just saying.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, match 2. Asuma at Kakashi.
Grr.
Start this off, Grr.
I mean, I'm biased.
Yeah, that's why I want you to start.
Asuma then? Okay, I gotcha.
Honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Asuma could very well take it, especially because I benched Sasuke. But yeah, I'm front-loading Mifune, and I'm going with a very experimental first lineup with Mifune, Naruto, and Shippuden Sakura. And Shippuden Sakura is on an awakening build.
Oh god, yeah.
So I genuinely just have no idea.
I mean, that's fair.
So I guess I would if my build does go off, I would say I'm probably going to win. But that's like every week.
Yeah.
If your build works to win.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Asuma is a strong team, no doubt, right? But Kakashi is at home, and we saw what effect that had last week. And I think that maybe, perhaps... I mean, you are trying a risky build, like you said, Gur. But I think perhaps Kakashi could take this. Because you said you were benching Sasuke, right?
Yeah.
So that I mean, that is a little tricky. I think Sasuke is one of your better characters. But Asuma, I believe they've benched
Shikamaru and Asuma.
Shikamaru and Asuma both. So I think those were kind of some of their heavier hitters. I mean, Ino's in there, so she's a heavy hitter, but I think that was one of their better teams so far in the preseason. And I think that being on a smaller stage, and them trying, I think they are trying another Awakening build for Kakuzu. He might not be able to make that work. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Kakashi.
I'm going to go with Kakashi too.
I think like the biggest thing is like, I have no idea what Mifune is on today.
That's true. He's a wild card.
That I have the least testing on because he got crushed in the first week and didn't even show up the second week because it was asleep. So
yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I probably would say Kakashi as well. Just because, just looking at the lineup, I mean, honestly, I see Kakuzu and Ino as the starting lineup for Asuma. I think a lot of it depends on how well Ino can do, and if Kakuzu can even get an Awakening off. Because the second lineup of Asuma is Choji, PTS Choji, and Ino. I wasn't very impressed with just the Choji combination, just based on last week's performance. So I think it depends on how much of a lead the first lineup can get, if it's going to take Kakashi down.
Yeah, I think they're kind of expecting Ino to kind of like be the linchpin here and just kind of...
I mean, her ultimate can probably reach a good part of this map in general.
True.
That ultimate has a pretty good connection, so...
I think it's going to come down to the first lineup on both sides.
I think that's fair. But yeah, so all for Kakashi. Fuck you, Anthony. Next match we have Sound at Sand.
Sound at Sand?
Yeah.
Sand has been really shaky. I mean, Kurenai, they did okay, but Kurenai was able to bring it out. They won against Uchiha, but Sound has been fairly solid the entire time compared to them.
That is true,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go with Sound. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I'm at the moment I'm not really sure where Sand stands right now. Cause they had a meh kind of first week and then they swept last week. So I'm really not sure how to feel about them right now.
And between these two teams, Sound and Sand, I think I'm gonna have to say Asuma.
yeah, Asuma is clearly the choice here. I think
but
they can do that.
I'm going to say Sound.
I think so too, because last time Sand really struggled against Shino, and I think if Sound uses Tuyuya, which I mean at this point I feel like that's a given, I think Sand could really struggle with that potentially.
I think Sound is shaping up to be a really good team this season. That Tuyuya trying can't be stopped.
Yeah, that. To be honest, Sound is looking like one of the stronger teams so far, and I'm happy for them because they have had a rough history these past few seasons. Although last season was pretty good for them. Season 1, 2, and 3 were kind of rough on the rougher end. for them. So
it was when they were rebranded from Orochimaru's Disciples to Sound.
Yeah.
Actually take off for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and season 3 for them was decent.
For that.
Yeah,
we're responsible
completely.
For that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Direct intervention.
So 2 for Sound, I think, right? Or 3? 3. Gomel,
I went for Sound.
Did you go yet? I don't think you did, right?
Well, basically comes down to this. Santa is coarse, it gets everywhere. I think Sound's gonna win.
Okay. All right.
So everybody for Sound.
Sorry, Sam.
Match 4.
Taka versus Sage.
Yep.
Oh boy.
All right, let me outline exactly what I'm doing because I'm doing something very risky. Okay. Taka Sasuke is on an AI that has been used once in testing, but it did really, really, really well against Jinchuriki. He's on a defense +2, piercing palm, flying thunder god build. What I dub the Sonic build.
Gotta go fast build.
Gotta go fast because he already has an innate movement speed bonus. So Flying Thunder God on top of that is really fucking fast. You have Jugo, who is on a somewhat modified attack plus build, but is on a completely untested AI. Completely. We have never tested this AI. Attack +2, Super Dash, Flak Jacket, Essence of Finishing, Sluggish Palm. Sluggish Palm is to try and make sure that he is able to get on a target and stay on a target, especially with his air combos. Then we have Madara, who is on default AI, but in his live costume, so he's using his base jutsu. You have Chakra +2 NCST with his I lost my train of thought. With his innate bonuses equals to Chakra +3 Ultimate -1. He also has Release Power, Essence of Striking, and Chakra Saver. This is Essence of Striking because of the fact that he, for some reason, only can hit with the first 2 hits. It always gets subbed unless it actually makes it to the full combo. But and then we have Karin, who is just solid, and we just wanted to try Ultimate +2 after seeing PTS Sasuke do so well with it. So, there you go.
All right, so Sage. No, I think you're doing some interesting things this weekend.
Okay.
I think
so for Sage.
What do you?
Hey, listen. I'm actually on the other road of confidence to talk here. I like the Ultimate +2 on Karin. I think it could do wonders. And I think the changes made to Madara are all positive. The Essence of Striking is a great idea. And I expect we're going to see a lot more spam out of him now that he's on his base jutsu.
Yeah. What is Sage doing? I feel like since we went in depth on your team, Sage kind of should get that.
First lineup's gonna be Sage Kabuto, Danzo, and Sage Hashirama. Sage Kabuto is on a defense +2 build. Danzo is attack +1. He has release power, so they're going to look to go Awakening build with him, with Regenerator on top.
Oh my god. Sage Kabuto.
Sage Hashirama is going to be no ultimate Chakra Saver. He's attack +2, defense -1.
Huh.
Pretty much something we saw in the competition match against Jin last season.
That's true.
That he was out all the time for. Yep.
I think that them going for a head defense up and Awakening thing might actually benefit Taka in some ways, because if Madara ends up in that match off, he might then dragging it out defense up and Awakening might give Madara more of a chance to Awakening as well. And I think in Awakening off, between the two, Madara will have the advantage because Madara is Awakening.
Now this is still a fairly small map too, not as small as Kakashi's home map. This is
Stormcloud Ravine. Stormcloud Ravine, which is a knockback, which is another reason why I made sure that Karin was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of knockback in this match.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I'm still going to give the vote of confidence to Taka here just because I think that they are, despite last week, I think they are very solid.
No, we aren't.
I think so. So, fuck you.
I'm leaving.
Okay. No, but I think Sage, while they, like I said, while they have some strong characters, I think they're definitely still getting their stuff together and trying, you are trying new things as well this week, Burn. But I feel like Sage is trying new things because they don't necessarily know what works yet, whereas you, for the most part, seem to know what works. You're just trying new things because why not try the new things that you've been interested in, like Taka's new AI. It did well in a test once, and now you're trying it. So I think it's a little different from Sage, where they're still trying to get these kind of things ironed out. And I think that that's pretty important. I don't think that Sage can't do well against you, but at the same time, I mean, even though you have some wild cards in AIs that you've never used before, I still think that you generally have a better understanding of your team at the moment. So, I'm gonna say Taka.
Well, I was going to lean towards Sage, but I noticed Donzo's in the lineup, so I was going to say Taka.
Oh, damn.
I mean,
Ouch!
I'm sorry, I do have to point out. I don't know, maybe Vern doesn't have the best idea of his team. And so, I think you left the grab on Spaghetti. So, like, how? That's just nah.
Yeah, dude, what's up with that?
Like, his grab, really? You should have taken that off.
Yeah,
man.
dude, what's wrong with you? God,
Hold on, Suigetsu?
yeah, the grab should have been off. What's
No!
What are you doing?
What? No, that's not my fucking fault.
Next
Fucking
match!
dear.
Alright, Stone at Jin.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, my prediction was going to be Sage, okay? We're gonna lose.
Okay, Anthony.
It was gonna be Sage?
Yeah,
Oh,
they win.
okay.
GG.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a
we
good
don't
match.
even need to play the match. They win. They'll go first.
Stone.
Okay, Stone versus Jin. Stone sweeps Jinchuriki.
Wow.
What a dick.
Yeah, right.
Fucking salt much.
F. Rip.
You fuck.
F. You fuck.
Um,
But nah, it's gonna be rough. It really depends. Like, your best, in my opinion, your best lineup, seriously, is combining Sage, Naruto, and Sarada. If you don't have that in at least one of your lineups, you're gonna have a rough time.
spoiler alert, we don't.
Oh, well, fuck you. But anyways, Stone has had a very rough time. They have been a lot less solid. But the thing
Which is ironic. I mean,
Is it so raw?
yeah, they have a lot of potential. So I'm going to say Jin.
Yeah.
all
I'm
right.
not going to Jin Turkey. Just because food. When it's just going to do ultimates and do half of their health.
Well, that's what we hope anyway, because she's on a technically an unused AI for the preseason. So
You're thinking of season 4 Foo, girl.
season 4, more like season 3, season 2. Season 4, she didn't do shit.
I just noticed, Ultimate Plus 2 on food had terrible flashbacks. So
Yeah,
I just assume Jinchuriki is just going to butterfly bomb everyone to death.
The war 3 years ago.
yeah. I honestly, I do think Stone has a really fair chance. I think that I don't really think our stage has much to do with anything. It's just kind of there. But I think we are trying some new things. I don't think Stone is trying anything like wildly different. They're just trying to kind of go with what works here and get their footing. So, I mean, I think that we're taking more risks than they are, which could be better for them than us. Obviously, I'm still going to, you know, give my vote of confidence to our team because it's my team, and, you know, I believe that we can do well, and usually we do well, but we are leaving PTS, Gara, and Sarada out of this because they have been in a lot so far, and we want to try to give some more time to Fu specifically, and a little bit of time to War Gara because he's had very little actual presence so far in the preseason.
Well, and I will say too, one of he was pretty solid in tests, but I will say at least one of our stronger lineups that we had that showed pretty well in testing was Wargar and Seijiro Naruto. Yeah. That had a lot of extensive testing with numerous teams and was really strong and very consistent. So I would still say that's probably one of our stronger ones. So although different AIs per se, I mean, you know, especially with Gar, he's got something different than he wasn't before. So that might affect things, but just that combination had proved fairly strong. Just like how Sarada and Naruto didn't have a very good showing in like tests, but then in actual preseason match, they all of a sudden just worked.
Yeah, Seijiro Naruto so far seems to be our guy that can just kind of like pair with anybody, which is cool. That's a good thing to have. So I mean, obviously I'm gonna give my vote to us, but I think Stone can do very well here, for sure. And I am scared of that road to Boruto Naruto, and Han.
I'm just thinking of that tilt.
That tilt, yeah. So, all right.
Next lineup, or next match, is going to be Cloud at Akatsuki.
Okay. I'm gonna.
I think he is in. I think the third is benched though.
Cloud wins.
Nice.
As Burns hiding behind a sofa somewhere because he's scared of
burritos.
He's making burritos.
Burnritos.
Anyway.
He's just off outside roasting him over a fire.
That actually sounds kind of good. So
refried beans roasting on an open fire.
Yeah, that's the Hawaii version.
Classic Hawaiian food.
I guess I don't know. This is interesting because Akatsuki is trying different AIs this time and different builds.
Default this time. Admittedly, all default at least
did well. Yeah, it did, and they're not. They changed the AI for Nagato, which is concerning to me because default AI was never bad. So.
But maybe it'll be a more wild ride for later day.
Maybe. I mean, that's always the hope, right? But, you know, I'm not sure that that's really a good thing in this case because Cloud has been pretty strong so far, and I don't think that... I don't know. I don't think that experimenting a whole lot against them is a great idea, just because they seem to have some pretty major things down so far. Yeah. Yes.
I will say, however, I mean, the first lineup of Cloud, Yugito, and B, it could be pretty good. The one that kind of is somewhat concerning is the one with I in it, because you have Sakan Ukon and I. We know I's solid, but I'm wondering how he'll pair with Sakan Ukon.
Maybe it'll be amazing. I don't know.
It might be good. It's hard to say. That's the only thing that I can see that might be a little bit iffy. But whereas Akatsuki, we've seen Nagato Konan Sasori before, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, and they are trying an Awakening build on a Sasori.
Which he did Awaken before. In week 1. Just depends if he hangs out a lot, because we noticed he did tend to stay out.
Bring them down last time he did that. What even is Akatsuki's home stage? We haven't seen it yet. I think it's... Let me check.
Isn't that the Rain Village? Rain Cloud Village?
Yeah, and Rain Village.
Rain lower.
See, I don't know if that's a good map for sorcery because it's small. So
it's Storm Cloud Ravine size, isn't it? Small.
Yeah, it's about that size. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Cloud on this one. I think Akatsuki can do well, but there's just too many unknowns here for me. So I think my vote of confidence will go to Cloud on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Cloud. I think A is just on A or Mel over everyone.
How about you, Gomo? Did you?
I think if Akatsuki can get at least 4 handicaps on Cloud into the last lineup against I, they might have a chance. But if not, I'm thinking probably Cloud is gonna take it.
Yeah, just if you just
the 4 handicaps.
4 handicaps in 2 matches.
Yeah, dude, if they can do that, come on.
Then they deserve it.
Yeah. All right, so it sounds like we're all.
I'm not really sure how you managed to do that, but fair play, you win.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Infinite Tsukuyomi, that'll do it. All right, so
match 7 is gonna be Hokage and Uchiha.
Ooh.
If I use Infinite Tsukuyomi, can I have my burrito?
Or can you eat it forever?
Yeah, you can eat it forever. Just to keep coming back.
Sitting in nothingness, eating a burrito.
But how would that be if you made a really bad burrito and you're stuck with this really horrible tasting burrito forever?
Then that's hell. But if you made a really good one, then it's heaven.
Was that the Katsu's plan the whole time? Like, use the moon to hypnotize everyone into eating a burrito over
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
I guess
the
it would
idea.
feel just like fighting Kakashi on their home man.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, wow.
But no, in all seriousness, Hokage versus Uchiha. Who's in and who's out? Hokage.
Hokage has Hashirama and Tobirama, so the brothers. So that could be pretty cool. I like that. And then Edo Minato and Hokage Naruto. So 2 two-man teams. No awakening stuff going on for them at all. Not bad. They're using the Minato is going to be pretty fast. He's got, Shikigami dance.
Ooh. Yeah. What?
Some pretty strong lineups there. And then Uchiha. Let's see. They are using Shishui Itachi again as their starting line.
Yeah.
And PTS Sasuke, Fireball, or Madara and Itachi. So in a 3-man team there.
I see. So it looks like they're really still wanting to get that PTS Sasuke. And they are trying them with a different jutsu this time. So that's interesting.
Yep. They gave him Flat Jacket. I don't know if he had it last week or not.
He did.
And Ultimate +1 with Ultimate Chakra Saver. I think he had Ultimate +2 last week.
He did,
without it. So that might make a difference, because you might be able to just get those off a lot faster.
Yeah, I think it could. At the moment, it's weird to say this, but I think I might actually give my vote to Hokage here.
Yeah.
Uchiha is at home, so it's going to be very close quarters match. And I think it's possible, if Hokage Naruto is as insanely aggressive as last time, you saw what he could do on our stage, which is medium-sized. What can he do on a very small stage that takes a single chakra dash to cover?
And most of their supports would be Tobirama support jutsu, Naruto support jutsu, some of their ultimates. I mean, Tobirama's tilt, let alone, can probably have him go across the whole stage of Uchiha's.
I'm gonna give it to Hokage.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, I just think, the two-man lineup, like, they're not, like, experimenting too much. I think they've just gone with a very solid, all-around plan. Like, it doesn't feel very experimental. it just feels like they're trying to put like the best lineup they could.
Yeah.
And I think it'll carry them through.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
I like Hokage for this as well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Hokage, but I would love to see Uchiha do well because they've had a rough time this preseason, and I think.
Oh yeah,
that...
I hope the things that they're trying, do well for them. I just think that Hokage is the more sure bet.
Yeah, and I would agree too. Just based on just the lineup alone and just what I'm seeing, Hokage is looking pretty good to me. Not that Uchiha isn't, but I just think what I see from Hokage has more of a shot at this. But then again, Uchiha could take it too. But I give it to Hokage.
Alrighty, so last one.
Yep, last one. Mist at Kurenai.
Oh, this is actually Kurenai's home, so no water for Mist, and so that also means Kurenai is free to use Molten Palm as they have been doing on Shino. I don't know how well Mist is equipped to deal with range. I would have to imagine they are using Shino this week because they didn't last week. That doesn't mean they have to, but
so Mist. Mist is Yagra Hanzo for their first lineup.
Okay.
And Udakata Zabuza.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Hasn't in Test Udakata typically been in 3-man teams and not 2?
I'm not sure actually. I don't remember. I thought he has been in 3-mans.
Yeah.
And he's got interesting defense +1 on ultimate dash, unstoppable essence of striking.
He does tend to, at least on the AIs that they're trying him on, he does tend to dash a lot and get in close.
I can see the striking working because I know he usually can get off the first few bits of his combo.
Yeah, no, that could be decent. It would work for ranged combos as well. So, and Kurenai, who did they bench?
Looks like they benched PTS Hinata and PTS Shino.
Huh. And so both Shino and Udakata are going to be in this match.
Yep.
So we could potentially see a pretty decently long match here.
If they make it to Kurenai's second lineup, because you got Shino there with Kiba and Gaara, and then PTS Kiba and Gaara the first lineup.
I do think as a ranged fighter, I think Shino beats Udakata.
Oh, yeah.
Although maybe not.
Well, do his bugs break through the bubbles?
Well, no, they cancel out. That's the thing. They both will cancel out. The thing is, even though Shino's bugs are faster than the bubbles, there are also way more bubbles than there are Shino's bugs. So yeah. I know this is a very weird thing to say.
Call it a draw.
I think I would actually give that to Udakata, just because with more bubbles and there are bugs, the AI might do something stupid on Shino and like hit the bubbles.
Yeah, just try to combo at the bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mist's lineup generally sounds pretty solid. Maybe other than Yagra sounds a little shaky, but like generally seems pretty solid.
Oh shit!
What? Boing. Okay, well,
sorry,
okay.
I just need to say.
All right.
Congrats.
Oh shit! Nice.
What was it?
Read staff chat.
Oh.
Yeah. Congrats, my dude.
Oh, awesome, man. Very nice.
Hey, nice, happy, wholesome moment.
Makes those burritos taste even better now.
Okay. Sorry, victory.
Yeah. I will say they are for Mist. They're trying release power on Yagra, who, at least in most recent tests I've seen, has almost always awakened because that awakening is so loud.
Yeah,
it's at a different audio level than anything else. It's like Donzo.
Yeah, it's like Danzo's
Conan's paper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are both Yagura and Shino in this first lineup?
No.
It's Yagura and Hanzo.
Okay, I will say, if Yagura fights Shino and he awakens, and actually does something with that awakening, then Shino is screwed. Because, as you all know, shurikens don't do anything when you're awakening.
I think the big thing for me, that's why I'm going to give it to Mist. It's not my call is for Mist. Because Yagura could be good, could be bad, but he's out of a generator, he's out of waste power, and he's at defense force too. And he's paired up with Hanzo.
That's gonna be a tanky turtle.
Yeah, Hanzo. I mean, we've seen Hanzo do well.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna continue to do well. But Yagura, even if Yagura doesn't do amazingly with a defense up build, it's a lot harder to lay down your partner with a defense up build than, say, with an attack up two.
Yeah, and keep in mind, when Yagura is out, he's gonna have a passive chakra control as well.
Yeah.
On top of the regenerator that he has.
So I think, even if Yagura doesn't do perfectly, I think that first lineup is still very solid.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I said, I'm not so sure that Shino would be better than Utakata. I think Utakata has his own strengths.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm giving it to Mist.
I will say Mist as well.
I know we say this a lot too, but it's really going to depend on the first lineup of both teams. Because if Yagura and Hanzo can take out Kurenai's, then I think there's a high chance Mist is going to take the rest, considering who the next lineup is.
Especially,
Whereas if Kurenai takes it with their PTS Kiba and Rotobo Garda, I can see it being really tough for Mist's second lineup with Utakata and just Zabuza, because then they have to not only take them out, but also go through Shino, Kiba, and Gara again.
That's very true. Yeah.
So
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll say Mist, but I think Kurenai has a really good chance of taking it.
Yeah, I'd just say, if I had to pick a team to say that I think would be better and coming back from losing the first round, I think Mist might be a bit better just because they're Utakata. And I think he would be helpful at taking down a handicapped opponent. Like him and Zabuza. Zabuza's massive. So we're just...
Yeah, I think it could be actually very good for them. But I do think it would still be a challenge, particularly. I'm still going to give my favor to Mist, but...
Yeah.
I think that the first lineup for both of these teams is still very important regardless. Just because it can very, very much sway things, especially if Mist does get that first win and Yagura happens to awaken against someone like Shino, then that would be a problem for Kurenai.
I just wouldn't count Zabuza out.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah, his build is pretty scary.
He's using Berserker still, right?
Relentless.
Oh, Relentless. Okay,
yeah,
still.
Yeah, he's attack up to, his ultimate tilt, his essence of finishing.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a build right there, and I think Zabuza is very aggressive and very powerful. So I think overall I'm going to give the advantage to Mist. I think that this can still be something that goes either way. I just think that Mist has more potential things in their favor here than Kurenai does. But that's me. Did Burn go, or is he off?
I'd say he's probably off.
I'm fucking celebrating.
Yeah.
It was against Mist and Kurenai. I talked with Buzz quite a bit when he had me look at the builds and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have faith in Buzz.
Okay.
Because he's trying a few things. He's wanting to see if a couple of things will work.
Mm.
He's getting a little bit experimental, if I recall correctly, but I have faith in him.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not saying I don't have faith in him. I just really like the look of Mist's builds this way. I think they may have hit on some good ideas. So.
Yeah.
But maybe Buzz is, maybe his builds will pay off too.
Yeah, definitely. I think Buzz is a very good builder and just kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Got them to Kage. I mean,
yeah.
From where they were. I mean, there's no question about that.
Yeah, that is no small feat.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to be proud of.
Definitely. Alrighty. So, I believe that is about it. And any just overall thoughts on this week in general? Just last week, I guess. Do you guys think it was good or what?
I think there's a little bit. There was quite. It feels like there was a little more, I guess, one-sided matches somewhat than the week before. Whereas the week before felt like almost every match went to a 3-round. A couple upsets in the sense that not really what you're expecting based on performances of the previous weeks. But other than that, I'm just hoping this week will be a little bit more closer for a lot of teams, and I'm hoping a lot of builds that people are trying will end up working out and provide.
Yes, Burn, would you like to tell us more about how you felt about, Taka versus Higashi?
All right, well, we'll see you all next week.
No, trust me, I don't give a shit about that anymore.
All right,
good luck next week.
Burn's in a good place right now, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck to you too.
All right, see you guys. Take care, everybody. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.